Well, hello everybody. I thought I'd start this video off with me. Aren't you so lucky? Joking, guys. But basically, this is the to be continued video of the one that I put up yesterday. So you're getting a Monday and a Tuesday video for this week. But basically, I want to start off by saying, after doing the editing and looking at it, I thought, boy, I really didn't explain that very well. And I was all prepared. Thought, yeah, this is what I'll say and this is what I'll put in there. And then when I look back, I went, well, no, I didn't actually do what it was that I was doing, but lots of distractions and interruptions, and it just breaks my concentration, and I'm not as young as what I used to be. And I hate to admit that, but that memory recall isn't that great anymore. So I apologize, but I want to make it very clear to everybody, I am not telling you how to feed your snake at all, or that the way you're feeding your snake is not the way that you should be feeding them. That is in no way the intent of my video. What I was trying to say in my videos is I've made a choice to do and feed my snakes the way that I feed them. I have no concerns about my snakes being big guys, if so be it. And I would feed them appropriately as well. But I know so many people want a particular breed or species of a snake. They're just going to be too big, and it does put people off. And you can turn around and say, well, don't get one because they're big snakes, or there are other ways of having that particular species and keeping them a little bit smaller. And I'm not talking about stunting them or doing any harm to them at all, but you have to understand that if you get a coastal carpet python, we know they can be exceptionally big snakes. They are supposed to be, they are quite long, but girth-wise, they're classified as slim-bodied snake. Of course, that isn't always the case, dependent upon your snake, I guess. But if you plan on getting a coastal with the plan or the intent to keep them smaller, that starts from a little snake. You cannot bring in a big snake that is already the size it is and go, well, I'm going to feed you smaller feeders. It just doesn't work like that. You need to start your snake off doing it in the way I guess I didn't really explain it in this video. But if you get them as little ones and you grow them on a smaller feeder, you have to be prepared to feed them more often. There's none of this monthly feeding or even fortnightly feeding. It would be a 7-day while they're young, or as up until about 12 months, that 5-day routine, and then up to a 7-day, and ultimately by the time they're of a large rat, you would be on a 10-day routine, and you would stay with that. Now, my coastals are currently both eating large rats, and they are more than capable of taking a jumbo rat, I think, but I want to feed them a large rat. They will go to extra large because they're going to grow, but slower. So it's going to be a while before they're actually up to that extra large. In summer, I will double feed. And when I say double feed, I will give them a large and a medium rat over the summer because they are more hungry and more wanting to eat. But over winter, 10 days, a large rat is all that they want. How do I know that's all that they want? Because I know my snakes. So, I've had lots of discussions with my vet around this, and basically she has said to me, Gay, there is absolutely no reason why that feeding or the way I feed them or choosing to feed them will do them any harm. And in actual fact, she has said to feed them a large rat and a medium rat, as in the double feeding. Those rats have way less fat in them. When you start jumping to your extra large, your jumbos and so on, the amount of fat that is in that rat is really quite astonishing. And yeah, many snakes eat those much bigger rats and they're fine. I'm not saying that they're not. So I really wanted to put this in at the start of the video to let you know I'm not judging people that feed their snakes massive feeders at all. I guess I don't want to be judged for feeding my snakes smaller feeders either, but I do know those people that feed the bigger feeders feed, monthly, and so you would. I have a 10-day routine with my guys. Now I've got Tessa, who they are slim snakes, and a large rat is going to be plenty enough for Tessa. And over the summer, if I find she's more wanting to eat, I will throw in and double feed her. And if I were to double feed, then I would go to fortnightly, which was what I was doing with Jack. We're coming into winter, so he's back to a large rat and every 10 days, and he's happy with that. So please don't take this video as in, boy, all you people out there that are feeding your snakes big feeders are killing your snakes, or it's unhealthy for your snakes, because that is not what I'm saying. What I'm trying to say is, just because you get a big snake, you do not need to think to yourself, this snake is going to be huge. You can keep them a bit smaller. I'm not saying you're going to have a 10-foot snake and you can make it 5 foot, though you probably could. And that snake would be perfectly fine. Because it is all about the fact that a lot of people do overfeed their snakes and feed them too much, and that is just not good for them either. So if you want a big snake, go by the girth. If you don't want a big snake, you start them off as babies and you slowly up their size. It's so hard to explain, guys, and look it up, find out about it, ask your vet, talk to them if you're interested in actually doing that for yourselves. So I hope I've even explained this properly. I probably haven't. I'm open to criticism. I'm open to somebody saying, oh, your snakes are starving then. My snakes are not starving. But please leave a comment and let me know what your opinion of feeding smaller feeders just more often and having your snake smaller. So, on to the video. Bye. Well, hi to everybody today. For this video anyway, You know, guys, today I wanted to do this video while Lacey's having her feed and Jack is having his as well today. But I wanted to discuss with everybody about a big snake. You know, coastals can be big snakes. Of course, I'm sure you all know that. And the problem is that, you know, people, and I'm sure there's people out there that would love to have a coastal or any big snake, whether it be a Bradley, an olive, black-headed, you know, they all can be rather big guys. So basically, what I want to talk to you today about is making that decision. I really want a coastal, but they just get too big and I really don't think I could manage a big snake, or I just don't want a big snake. But I love them and I love their temperament and their personalities and everything that goes with these beautiful snakes. And I'll say that because I love my coastal. I mean, I love all my guys, don't get me wrong, but I love my coastals, and I guess I do because they are my first, and from where they came from to where they are now, there's that special little spot in my heart for them as well. And they do have beautiful temperaments. So I want to talk to you about, just because they are a big species in terms of the snakes that are out there, they don't have to be. And I'll try and explain this to you as best as I can, and I hope that you understand what I'm saying. But basically, it is how you feed them and what you feed them. And you do not have to feed your snake big feeders. Or, okay, that's the size of their girth. So the size of their girth is an extra large rat, and it may be the size of an extra large rat. And if you were feeding them that size, or even a little bit bigger than that, though that would be jumping to a jumbo, which is even bigger again, then the duration between when you feed them would be longer. So say if I was feeding Lacey a jumbo, which she could eat, no problems at all, but I would not feed her for a month or a fortnight or a month. You know, I sort of go by my guys and them telling me when they're hungry. But what I actually do, guys, and I don't do this because I don't want a great big snake. That is not why I do it. I do it because I don't mind the fact that these guys I can keep a little bit smaller, and it does not affect their health in any way, shape or form. So Lacey eats a large rat and Jack eats a large rat, and my guys have grown at a much steadier rate. Now ultimately they will probably end up on an extra large, but that's where they'll stay. And I won't go to a jumbo. I won't go any bigger. You do not need to. How much smaller in length, I'm talking, are my guys going to be compared to one that I was feeding jumbo rats to monthly or whatever? Well, I could keep my guys at around the 6-7 foot mark, and they would be healthy and happy. So I guess what I'm trying to say is you can keep a bigger species smaller, and it will in no way affect their health. in any way, shape or form. So if you didn't want to get a species that you know is going to get to 10 to 14 foot, say, because they're going to be 10, 14 foot, then just think about what size feeders you're going to feed them. So I very, very slowly, gradually took their size up and offered weekly. And you know, there was a time there where Jack was just, I don't know, you know, every time I opened the door he was hungry, but it was, you know, coming to that end and winter's approaching, and they do want to eat more because that's their instinct, to get as much in and eat as much as they can for winter. And so I was giving him a large and a medium at that particular point, but I've dropped him now back to a large. Now, my guys aren't going to be great big massive coastals, but they're certainly not going to be unhealthy because I've chosen to feed them smaller feeders. So don't be deterred from getting, you know, a bigger species and thinking that they just will be great big snakes, because they don't have to be. You know, people have pushed me, oh, Jack could eat a jumbo, oh, definitely Lacey could eat a jumbo. I don't doubt that. They absolutely could. I do not want my snakes to be 14 foot. And Lacey, if anybody out of my guys is going to be that 14 footer, not so much Jack. But I haven't hurt them in any way by feeding them the way that I'm feeding them. So, you know, they will probably be on extra large for the rest of their life. But, and in winter, they may slow down themselves, and that's okay. If they do that, then I'll go with that. If you want to keep your snake smaller, it's just feeding them more often. So if I've got that wrong, or anybody would like to dispute that and say no, you can't do that, please let me know and tell me why is that and why you feel that, because I'm just giving you what information I know and what I'm choosing to do at this particular stage. So, you know, and I would rather feed them a smaller feeder than one great big large, or two smaller feeders than one great big large one anyway. So, you know, that's just me and just how I feel. So I'm going to move on. You know, Lacey's got hers down, and as we know, my Jack is a little bit of a slow boy. So I'll head on over to Jack. You know, Lacey is longer than Jack, but her girth is not as big as Jack's either. But Jet, she's finished hers off, and she's such a good girl, aren't you, sweetie? She says, yeah, well now Mum, I've got to go over and get, sorry about this, it's just sticky stuff on the glass. She's going to end up over on the warm side of her enclosure, and my little grandson is going to start squeaking away now. But yep, she's pushing that rat down. So let's head on over. Oh, actually she is at the warm side. What am I talking about? This is the cool side, which you can't see, and that's the warm side, and she's doing what snakes do, which is washing her mouth after she's eaten. So over to Jack. Yep, Jack, it's your turn, bud. You ready? Except I'm opening up, of course, down this side. Don't bump your nose. Don't bump your nose. So Everybody's got a noise going behind me. Oh, actually, I don't feel really comfortable doing it from this side, but because I can't really get in there. I'm doing the best I can. So, yep, Jack gets a large rat. And that is plenty big enough for rat. Yeah. Mr. Boy here. And Jack gets fed every 10 days. Now, Jack isn't going to grow to be a 10-foot odd coastal carpet python. He is going to stay, for me, at a reasonable size. Now, I haven't measured Jack for a long time, but I will, and I'll let you know what he is. You know, if you're feeding them bigger feeders, you certainly wouldn't be feeding them every 7 days or even 10 days. You would be going that 2 weeks to even a month if your guy was on a jumbo or a colossal. So yeah, I just like feeding them smaller feeders just more often. I don't want Jack to be this massive, great big. It is not necessarily a sign of a wonderfully healthy snake. I'm not saying it's a sign of an unhealthy snake, but just because Jack may be smaller and you look and go, what? He's, you know, Jack is coming up 7 years old. You know, I could maybe put him against another 7-year-old. I don't know because I haven't. And that snake might be 2 foot longer than Jack, but yeah, he does well on the large. Well, guys, I went out to training. This is still the feeding video, but I went out to training today, and you can see Lily up there. But, you know, I don't know what goes on with Lily, but, you know, once again I was gone for a few hours and she was frantic, and 3 hours of Lily absolutely going berserk in her enclosure, wanting out. So of course I get home and I let her out, but she's going to be fed today. So I'm like, are you going to go back home, Lily, or are you going to feed up there? But she looks so comfy. Well, I've decided I'll just leave Lily out. She looks way too cruisy, comfy. She'll come down when she's ready to go back home. So I don't have an issue with Lily having a feed at all out of her enclosure. She's not an aggressive feeder, so, you know, should be pretty easy. So, keeping the camera where Lily is, of course, and just showing her there's a mouse. Seeing as she was so darn keen to come out. It's over here, sweetie. Here. Oh, Umpsy. Are you going to eat or you want to go home? What do you think? It is a mouse. I swear it's not a rat. Okay? Okay. So give me my tongue. I need my tongue. Ah, she's funny. Oh, yes, sweetie. Want to go back up there? There you go. So, she can have a feed. She'll be fine. When I've fed her, I'll get her down, put her straight in her enclosure, she'll be happy to do that. That's me and Lily. Okay, here we go with number 2. I dropped it because I'm useless. Golly gosh, Mum's hopeless. Okay, Lil, you right under there? Don't know if you can see her, because she's in the shadows. If I have got my light going. You funny girl. Well, she says, I'm not feeding me enclosure, Mum, I'm out. So, you know, I'm doing what I can do here, you know. How cool is that, hey? She's got a good grip everywhere. She's comfy. And when she comes down, she'll go home. I'm not going to be disturbing her. I'm not going to be moving her around. I'm not going to be jiggling her, playing with her belly at all. She'll just come on down when she's ready. Because she'll know when it's time to come home. I hope. But I'm not out doing anything today, so yeah, if she wants to just lay up there, she can. And I'll just help her down later on in the day and put her back in. If I know Lily, she'll just happily lay there. And it is like 30 degrees Celsius, and all the members of the family, Noah, Taylor, are sweating like pigs, but good humidity at 52%, so
I'm actually sweating.
Yep, Lily's comfy out here. So yeah, number 2 going down the hatch. You ready for the next one? Where you going? Messy moo. She said, well, I'm trying to swallow that one down, Mum. So, give me a second. Let me get me bearings. I don't even know if I had that camera in her mush last time, but there you go. Right. So, is it a good thing to feed your snake out of their enclosure? Lily, I don't have a problem with it. Jack, you have got to be kidding me, because even when he's had his feed, he's give me another one, and he stays in that feeding response mode for quite some time after he's just had a feed. Lily doesn't. Lily has a feed, she's full, and she's like, okay, I'm cool, I'm okay, I'm just gonna maybe lift her up, but she's yeah, heavy girl. But there you go. You're going back down again. I guess, you know, that's how they eat. They hang from the trees, they grip and they swallow. Yeah, there you go. Well, Lily is having takeaway, I guess, tonight. It's nice to have a bit of a change, isn't it? That was good. Little bit of gymnastics there from Lily. I know what she's going to do. She's going to eat. She's going to go up. She's going to lay up there, right up there, settle in. As soon as she's finished her feed. I can tell already. Can read you like a book, Lily. You know, this video is going to be kind of a long one, but I will cut cut little bits and pieces out and try and shorten it up. And so it's not so long a video, of course. Okay, you're trying to find placement, aren't you? Well, you're quite capable of sorting yourself out, Lil. You're a big girl. Okay? I'm taking it up top. I might go and watch the skyline and eat this particular one, Mum. You're right, Lily. Yes, I'll go back. Out of zoom, out of zoom. There she is. Well, go on, make your way all the way up. And I'll give you your last one, because there you can settle in for a while. Yeah, she's gonna, there's that word again, go on up. And then, while she's finished it, I don't know if you can see a mush at all, but she's finished that one. So, we'll get the, oh no, she's got 2 more. Gee, Lil, thought you only had 1 left. You'll be rather pleased. Now, I'll zoom in a little, and I'll stand up and go up to her. I know she's got the tail still hanging out. I think she looks comfy. I think she does. So, and behind the plant, let's see if I can no, she's still got a bit of a mouthful. And Lily certainly will not take one as one's going down. She really likes to really get that down. And then she'll be happy to take, hopefully, the next one. There you go. Having fun? Yep. And now I'm going to have to clean all up there, wipe it all down. I gotta laugh. I mean, Lily sure is a funny girl. I mean, what's funny about her feeding, but yeah, she's out, she's doing all sorts of backwards and forwards. I think there she is. So we'll get this last little mouse for Lil. If I can get into the, can't get a mouse and hold the camera in where I should be holding the camera either, obviously. But this is your last one. Missy, where are you? No, you haven't finished. Don't start wiping your mushka and realigning your jaw. This is it. Well, guys, you're done. I know that was an exceptionally long video, but I hope you stuck with it to the end. And if you did, I want to take the time to say, you know, thank you very much for getting all the way through that video. I didn't really intend for it to be so long. Feeding Lily out of her enclosure was, pardon me, completely unexpected. So, and it took a while to get through that feed with Lily. But guys, I want to say ciao, and you to let you know at this particular point that I left Lily up there for about an hour or so after that feed, and then I just went up, and believe me, she just allowed me to pick her up and put her in an enclosure where she went and laid under a heat, and she was perfectly fine. So, yeah. Ciao, everybody.